Podcast.
So what are the 4 best practices for training team members? Well, you're about to find out. Hey, it's Scott Beebe. I don't normally wear my Letterman's jacket and my Carolina jersey. This is one of my actual jerseys that we've kept with us. My name is right on the back. It's kind of hard to see, but you can see that there in my Letterman's jacket. The reason I'm wearing this is because the uniqueness of the situation we're in right now. At the time of this recording, college athletics Power 5 conference presidents and chancellors are meeting to discuss the viability of playing college sports, and in particular, college football for the fall of 2020 in light of the COVID-19 pandemic. And I just thought, wow, I never thought I saw this, especially in the spring. These have got to be grueling conversations as thousands of athletes, millions of workers and fans, and billions of dollars stand to be affected by everything that's going on in these decisions. Another element of college sports will be massively impacted through this: training. See, sports of all varieties are hinged on thoughtful, planned, repetitive, and vision-centered training. Military members train constantly. Athletes train constantly. I'm not calling myself an athlete necessarily, but when I was playing, we trained nonstop. Large corporations train constantly. But what about you, the small business owner? Do you embrace small business training programs? Busy, chaotic business owners who are leading teams between 2 and 25 employees often feel so overwhelmed that they buy into the lie, well, we don't have time to train, is what they say. Well, if coaching and training is that important to so many areas of society, why would the businesses that account for the overwhelming majority of jobs around the world, and that's businesses just like yours, the small businesses, why wouldn't we take time to invest in small business training programs? Well, there's 2 reasons that I could see. It's one of the same reasons that it was hard to train when we were at the University of South Carolina. The first is training's hard. Like, it's really, really hard. And in Columbia, South Carolina, it's hot. And in August, it's really hot. Second, training requires a belief that training matters, that training is crucial. And you've got to believe that that training matters and training is crucial. But some people don't. So when budgets sink, marketing and training seems to get axed the quickest. When we start to see our revenue drop, we're like, oh, training's gone. When in reality, marketing and training we need to double down on. Imagine a professional sports team ending their season with a losing record, and in response, what they decide to do is shorten their practice times, cut the number of coaches, spend less time on the road recruiting, and downgrade their facilities. Does that sound like a proven plan for success for a team turnaround? Absolutely not. We do it with small business training programs all the time, though. So here are 4 proven small business training programs that business owners can implement immediately to start having predictably winning seasons year after year, and you can do this yourself. First, host weekly team meetings. Why have weekly team meetings? Well, my wife and I, we text. In fact, I just got off the phone with her, and we have short phone calls all throughout the day. But if we hinged our entire marriage on those intermittent chats, we would struggle. Instead, what we make time for is to sit down most evenings. Sometimes we go on a bike ride, a walk. Sometimes we just sit on the couch without loads of distractions, and we just visit together. So intentional, thoughtful, clear conversation, working out issues of life, marriage, parenting, the future. We just sent a daughter away to university a couple of days ago. We've got to have conversation about that. Your team needs a devoted, intentional, distraction-free time to meet together that's agenda-driven, it's leader-led, and it's no more than 1 hour. So when we start to think through that, we need to have these intentional weekly team meetings. Now, again, some of us are going to roll our eyes at that and go, are you serious? No. These are agenda-driven, leader-led, and no more than 1 hour. These weekly meetings will act as a drip-by-drip training around the basics of the business: vision, mission, values, the systems and processes that it takes to run the business every single day. So the second thing you can do, first is weekly team meetings, is you can actually implement a simple 90-day weekly onboarding check-in for every single team member. Once weekly, you'd sit down for about 15 minutes and walk them through the list of questions and use it as a time of intentional listening. As you listen, your team feels valued, and you will walk away with a powerful list of items for you to use as training both now and in the future. So I thought I would lay out for you a series of questions that you can use, the same questions we use at Business on Purpose. One is, how have you seen us hit our vision and mission and values? Number 2 is, what are you seeing or thinking? Number 3, what blind spots are we missing? Number 4, what role questions do you have? Number 5, what new ideas do you have? Number 6, what do you need from me? And this is really important. This is what I always do. Right now, I'm working through this with Thomas and Jesse, is here's what I see in you. Here's what I see for you. And then we work out some action items that they can be working on here in the next couple of weeks before we get together again. So the second thing you can do are onboarding meetings. The third training program that you can implement that's really valuable is a 90-day weekly employee training and development focus, where you tack on an additional 30 minutes to that weekly meeting I talked about a little bit earlier. And during that initial 30 minutes, you can walk your team through intentionally repetitious employee training and development material that you come up with. And so you start to think, well, it's going to take a lot of creativity, isn't it? No, just look around the business. What are the biggest challenges? What are those questions that you get all the time in your business? And you start to train around those questions. I'll give you a great example of this. Just recently, we've gone through and we've updated our website to where we've taken the biggest questions that people ask us, and instead of hiding from them, we've actually put them on the front page of our website. And so when you go to ours today, mybusinessonpurpose.com, I'd love to invite you there. We've got a whole series of videos, and you'll see them pop up here in just a second. But these videos, when you click, these are on the home page of our website. And when you click on them, it actually takes you to the video and the article that we've had prepared for you. So we answer those questions. Hey, what's the difference between coaching and consulting? Well, there's the article right there. Read more. And just below it is a video. Unfortunately, my software slows everything down when I hop on these videos. But you'll see the video right there, and we answer those questions. Well, we came up with these videos and these articles in direct response to the biggest questions that we get. So what are the biggest questions that you get in your business? Well, you can transfer that in training for your team. It's incredibly powerful when you do that. So we've developed those. So that's the third thing that you can do, is you can start to tack that time on there. And let me give you a real life look into actually what it looks like. We walked a client through this just last week, so you can see what it looks like to lay out a 12-week kind of training focus for your team. And so some of the questions that we were asking on there is things like, what is a business? Where are we going? What are the why and the how? How do we give team feedback? Also, a week on financial literacy, just 30 minutes talking about how $1's not really $1. When we make $1 of revenue, we actually only keep a few pennies of it to do anything with from a profit standpoint. Walking through disc personality profiles and all those things. You can just tack extra time on. Now, some of you might be saying, well, how do I come up with all this content? Again, just go back. What are the biggest questions that you're being asked by your team on a regular basis? And you can put that into training content. And finally, the fourth thing that you can do is you can host a one-day training event for your team, much like Taylor's Landscaping, Landscape Supply, Shoreline Construction, Premier Exteriors, and Coastal Shores Landscaping have done. In the past 3 years, all 4 of those businesses have completely shut down their operations for 1 full week and invited speakers to come in and deliver employee training and development, while the owners and the key leaders also played major roles in delivering content. So during these one-day events, each business also invites their vendor partners to help sponsor and participate in the event. So if you're a vendor, the question is, which business would you rather do business with? The business that invests relentlessly into their people, their product, and their process? Or the business that, when feeling overwhelmed, starts cutting people, product, and process? Hey, listen, you can do this. We're here to help. Head on over to mybusinessonpurpose.com. You'll see the resources we've got for you there. Shoot, mimic some of what we're doing. You have the capabilities for training for your team members. And more importantly, your team members are longing for it. They want it. mybusinessonpurpose.com. We're there to serve you. Hey, thanks as always for joining us, and check us out on the Business on Purpose podcast and our YouTube page. Just search My Business on Purpose. All right, I won't have it on next week, but a fun little event to wear the old Letterman's jacket and the Gamecock jersey. Hey, you can do this. invest in training for your team. Have a great week, everybody.